What is up, guys? Welcome back. So today we are jumping into our next episode of the How to Paint series we are making for Monster Fight Club's Borderlands Kickstarter that we got about a month ago. We have been hustling through the box of badasses, getting all of the Vault Hunters done, and we did actually get all of the Vault Hunters painted, including Tiny Tina, Torgue. We even did Butt Stallion. We did that yesterday. What's left of that specific pack is actually the Claptrap minis. They are technically like enemy types of enemies that you can use, but in my Bunkers and Badasses, which I bought this game technically for, I'm using it as different ways for Claptrap to interact with my Vault Hunters so that it's different and goofy every time. So today we are going to be tackling the Commando Claptrap. Now, he is called like Partisan Claptrap on the actual like game, but I'm gonna call him Commando Claptrap. You're gonna hear me say it probably in the video multiple times, and when I put his name on the base, it's gonna say Commando or Commando Claptrap or Clap Commando, something like that. I think they did some changes too, because like the picture of this miniature online, right? When you look up the stretch goals, that actual miniature was a little different. He's not holding the gun like this. He was holding the gun like this, and he had his gear on. So I think something changed down the line. Maybe it's just his name. Well, not his name, but his position or his pose. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and jump into this. It's basically Claptrap painted up with some army gear, so it should be fairly simple. The hardest part of this will be painting that gun, but I did the same gun for the Salvador that came with Bunkers and Badasses, so I know exactly how this gun is supposed to be painted up. So I'm going to refer to that if I need to for this gun. Other than that, this one should be fairly easy. We have the next 4 days is going to be fairly easy because they're all going to be Claptraps before we jump into the enemy models, which are basically all of the Psycho Bandits and all of the Skags. And even then, I'm doing them in bundles because we have multiples of certain ones. Like some have 4 models that are exactly the same, some have 3, some have 2, and some only have 1. But we are just gonna, when I paint one for you guys, I'm actually knocking out 3 or 4 at the time because the enemy models are basically the same. So, alright guys, let's get into painting. So, where we're going to start at with this version of Claptrap is yellow. The panels that were in front of his body, or his, not body, but I guess shell of his body. So, the 2 panels there that were red and blue, they're not visible in this model since he's holding the gun that way. So, we are going to have to just do his eye blue, but we're not going to do that right now because it's definitely accessible. So we're going to work right from there to the yellows. So we're going to hit the sides up completely. His wrist area right here is yellow. And a piece of his arm is yellow over here. You just want to make sure that the Claptrap is painted like Claptrap. So you can always reference him with another Claptrap or the previous Claptrap that we painted. So yeah, we're going to get the yellows done, and then we'll work on our next color. The next part we are going to work on is the grays and metallics. I'm doing metallics with the grays because he is a robot. So we want to make sure we hit those at this point as well. So we have basalt gray. We're going to use basalt gray for anything that's like panels or the outer, like the tread of the tire. That's what we'll use, but we're going to coat that first with a mix of basalt and Tenebrow Gray. The sides of the tires are going to be just the mix of Tenebrow and basalt, because you want that to be dark and look like a tire. The backs here, that's going to be basalt, and some of the panels and stuff, that will be basalt. He does also have like carrying pouches and stuff like that for like his Commando look, so do keep in mind that there are going to be some leathers on this, but very minimal. And a lot of his stuff is covered with his helmet, so keep that in mind. But I did notice his antenna is like coming out of the helmet, but like against the helmet, so make sure you don't miss that little touch there. So we want to make sure we hit that with a basalt gray. Anything you hit with just straight basalt gray other than the tire, you want to hit with a metallic. You do want to hit the very inside of that though, because that is metallic. You just don't want to hit the side of the tire itself. So anything you'd hit with basalt, make sure you kind of do a dusting of a gunmetal or natural steel or something like that, so that it gives it that metallic look. Okay, so now that the metallics are dusted over top of the grays, we are now going to start on a green. We are going to use an olive green because I feel like that's a perfect green for like a military or a commando helmet. And there is a strap around that. We're going to make that brown. There's also bullets in there as well, so you want to avoid that, because we are going to put a copper on that and a copper on one of these lines, or this line at least, on his arm. So if the next scene you see more color in his helmet, it's because I decided to do the copper at that point. But we're going to use the olive green and get the helmet started. Okay, so with the next part, we are going to do all of the leather browns. So that's going to be his strap around his body, the strap around his hat there, also the pouches he has on this side and on this side. So make sure you guys do take in consideration he does have pouches on his sides. And then we're going to take a Ducat blue and we're going to put that as his eye, because it's very simple and out of the way. So yeah, those two colors. The only spot, oh, and we're also going to put a white stripe. It has to be white stripe. You have this, that's going to be like a off-white up here, because we are going to shade, not shade it, we'll kind of shade it. We are going to use speed paints to glaze over top of this, and it's going to be all Gravelord Gray, because he is, oh well no, because he does, this Claptrap does have some leather. So leather, we'll get the leather brown speed paint glazed, and then everything else will get a glaze of Gravelord Gray. But we're not going to do that until the gun is done. So let's get our browns on there, and then we're going to get the white on there, or the off-white on there for the stripe around the body. And then we will, and make sure we get the eye. And then what we'll have to do is focus on the gun, because the gun is going to be the most, probably the difficult part of this model, because it's very intricate with how the design is. That is a Torgue gun, so you know they do look kind of crazy. Okay, so we put some tan on the netting of the helmet as well, so that pops. Now we have to work on this gun. So the best thing for me to do is to refer to the older model that I painted for Salvador. Now this is a Salvador from Bunkers and Badasses, and this isn't his original base. I peeled them characters off the base and put them on like Malefit bases that look really cool with the scene on it. So that's what I did. But his gun right there is the same exact gun that this Claptrap is holding. So if I refer to this gun, then we'll be all good and it'll look perfectly fine. Okay, so we now hit the point where we can start glazing. So we're going to use a leather brown glaze for all the leather pieces, and then a Gravewood gray for everything else. And while that's drying, we'll go ahead and put some Rhinox hide around the base so that will be getting ready. And once that's dry, we will do our highlights. So that means doing all the colors over again, because the glazes will dye down the colors, and just do the touching up. Anything that you see that needs to pop, make sure it pops with some of color that you want to pop. And then we will put a black rim around the base and put Commando Claptrap or Commando on there. We'll figure out which one to do. And yeah, so let's get to it. And here's Commando Claptrap, painted up and ready to be put into my bunkers and badasses. I decided to just put Claptrap as the name because Commando Claptrap was just too long and it wrapped around too far. So just to keep it simple, I just put CL4PTP because, I mean, he's still a Claptrap. And I really like how this one turned out. I like how we have different versions of Claptrap to throw into the game. Well, obviously these are enemy types for Monster Fight Club's Borderlands, but this is really cool to have different versions for bunkers. If today's video helps you out in any way with painting your Commando Claptrap, be sure to leave this video a huge like. And if you know anybody that needs help with painting their miniatures, don't be afraid to share my painting videos with them, because maybe they just need that little bit of a push to start painting their miniatures. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel and you've been watching my painting videos or other content, it would be really appreciated if you did hit that subscribe button, because we're trying to build our community up and we just surpassed 800 subs, and we appreciate it so much. Like, you guys don't even realize how much even something like 800 subs, it's not a million, it's not a crazy amount, but 800 subs is a lot to me. So I'm happy and I'm blessed to have such, amazing followers like you guys. So as always, thank you guys for checking out today's video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.